What's up, MMA fans? I am with the one and only Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor, and he's getting ready to fight Tommy Fury at the end of the month. I just got done talking to you about how this might be one of your biggest fights coming up. How does it feel?
It feels good. I can't complain. I feel great. I look great. I am great. I'm the great.
So I kind of was confused because I remember seeing videos and interviews where you weren't Jake Paul's friends, where you guys were kind of shit-talking back and forth about these sparring sessions. So now you guys are training partners in Puerto Rico. So how did that come about?
Well, the whole deal was me and Jake. I wanted to fight Jake. This was back in April before he even got into it with like Ben Askren. So I said, hey, Jake, I'm on Twitter. I'm like, I'll beat you up. So his coach said, hey, come down to Miami and spar Jake. It's your opportunity to beat him up. So then I fly to Miami a week later. All of a sudden, I'm there in Miami with Jake, about to spar in the ring. Me and Jake, we go toe-to-toe like Apollo Creed and Sylvester Stallone, like Rocky. So then after that fight, I guess me and Jake, we had our little beefs on social media and stuff, and then it just died down. A month later, freaking BJ and his team was like, hey, come on out to Puerto Rico and help Jake get ready for Tyron Woodley fight. I'm like, let's go. And I'm in Puerto Rico.
Wow, so that must show a little bit of respect for you because he wants you involved in his camp.
Absolutely. I mean, he could have brought anybody else in the world. Anybody like Kamaru Usman, Dustin, any UFC fighter, any other professional boxer, but he brought me. And I kind of felt honored because now I felt like, okay, I'm doing something right.
So is there any kind of, backstabbing of the MMA community you're doing here? You're trying to get this YouTuber to beat Tyron on us.
I mean, look, hey, I have nothing against Tyron. I don't know him, I've never met the guy, never trained with him. We just happen to have the same striking coach, which is Antonio McKee. It's nothing against him, but I'm Team Paul. Me and Paul, Jake, we're like family. We're like brothers now. We bond ever since we've been in Puerto Rico, and we always had like a connection since I got out there. A really good guy. He's friendly and just an amazing person to be around with and to work with.
So someone you just mentioned is Antonio McKee, and we are standing here in Long Beach at the Body Shop where AJ McKee, the Bellator champ, has been training. But how special is it that you're back here after being 4 months in Puerto Rico? You're back able to train with some of the homegrown heroes from here.
Oh, man. It feels good to be back. I swear to God, it feels good to be back, man. I miss my brothers. AJ, congratulations. But, me and AJ, we thought about this since we were both amateurs. We knew that AJ was going to be a champion, and this is where we shed blood, sweat, and tears right in this gym. Because without the success of your teammates, you're not going to be successful. You need your teammates, especially family and friends. So it feels good to be back here. I get to finish my 3 weeks of training camp with Antonio McKee and AJ. So now that they're in my corner, I have a little bit of better confidence boost for the fight.
And were you able to obviously catch the fight, Bellator 263?
Oh, I flew in just for that day. I flew in from Puerto Rico just for that one day, watched the fight, and then I flew right back to Puerto Rico.
Wow. So when you were going into the fight, were you 100% confident that he was going to be able to take Patricio? And did you think it was going to happen that quickly?
Absolutely. I already knew AJ was going to tear him up because when you're training, when been training with AJ for so many years, like me and Pitbull are literally the same height. We have the same reach. So AJ already knew what he was going to get from Pitbull. The fact that whenever I spar with him, I played the aggressive role. So I've always imitated Pitbull. Even though AJ had all these other opponents, I always act like I'm Pitbull. You want my belt? Come get my belt. So then AJ turns up like, okay. So AJ always had that reach, and he knew what to expect when he was going in with Pitbull.
So when we think about people wanting to unify belts across different platforms like the UFC and stuff, how do you think that he would match up against other top featherweights like Max Holloway or Brian Ortega, Volkanovski?
AJ dominates them all. Just because AJ is a great striker, he's a great kicker, and he has good ground game. And he can finish you off his back, on top, striking, kicking. He has all those weapons to where he can dominate a fight in every fashion of every part of the round. And, Max has a good striking game, but his ground game is not as good as AJ. Volkanov, no one's really saw his ground game. You know, Brian Ortega, he's never really been tested apart on his ground game and striking wise, besides Max Holloway. But AJ brings all that combination to the cage and outside the cage. The charisma, the spark, and that new generation confidence.
And I know that you and Jake are friends now, but wouldn't it kind of be a banger of a fight if AJ and Jake fought one day? Also a fat paycheck.
Oh man, I mean, it would be an exciting fight, but you know, obviously those type of fights would never happen. You know,
Why is that?
you know, the Paul brothers and Body Shop, we work together.
I didn't know about this connection.
Yeah, we work together. You know, there's no fighting between us. We're all family here.
Awesome. Well, looking ahead to your fight with Tommy specifically, he's this 22-year-old, really pumped, been on reality TV before. Is there anything about his game that you're worried about?
No. I mean, I see those type of fighters all the time. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I'm here sparring with Rampage. Like, come on. Like, he's just a big kid. He's never really fought no one, especially the caliber of fighter that I am. Being a MMA fighter, yeah, I have some type of boxing background, but he can't hurt me. He doesn't have the power to hurt me. All the fighters he beat up were all glorified sparring partners.
Very good to know. And also, hold this for 1 second.
Yes.
I just want to make sure that we're still in focus. We're going to keep this going. Yeah, we look great.
This is my first time doing an in-person interview.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yes. And about that, I've noticed that you've been very giving to give all these interviews. I wasn't, like, when I was looking you up, like, you were giving a lot of virtual ones. So are you just, like, sulking in this moment that at the end of the month, you're going to be seen by many, many eyes on a Showtime premiere platform?
Yes. I mean, I've been in so many interviews, situation like this, a couple times with James Gallagher in Dublin, Ireland, but I'm ready. I'm going to have my perfect suit for that, too, you know.
Well, we can't wait to see it. Pretty Boy is going to be all dolled up for us. And when we're thinking about November 2nd, James Gallagher is going to be in Ireland again, facing off with Patchy Mix. What do you know about that matchup, and how do you think that one plays out?
Both submission specialists. I'm going to give the edge to Patchy just because Patchy he dominated Ricky Bandejas. He went all 5 rounds, hard fought with Juan Archuleta. And you don't really go on a hard-fought win with Juan Archuleta. So I give Patchy to mix the submission. He's stronger, he's bigger, and longer.
Interesting. So when it is coming to you in Bellator, are you hoping to get more Bellator fights or stay in the boxing realm?
Well, it all depends on this fight. If I win this fight, most likely MMA will not see me again for a very long time. And who knows? I haven't even talked to no one from Bellator. Has been talks with me going to the UFC. You know, who actually knows? I really can't say too much, but all I can do is focus on the fight on Showtime.
And I know you've been looking at some fighters' games like Adrian Broner, Sean Porter, and different fighters. So what has been your biggest, I guess, mental practice that you've been doing getting ready for this fight?
Staying physically prepared. You know, having my cardio shape, because boxing cardio is different from MMA cardio. You know, we're not just only punching, we're just straight punching. You know, opposed to MMA is if I get tired, I can just take you down and rest and beat you up and rest. You know, but it's definitely the cardio part of this aspect is a lot harder, definitely.
And if there's any message for Tommy Fury, I want you to look in the camera and let us know. But I have a special request. It has to be sung. It's all you.
Why I gotta sing it? Oh no!
I heard you singing it earlier. It was beautiful.
I don't even know what song. I'm coming for you, and I'm coming for your girl. You better let her know she's gonna get this chocolate swirl.
Damn, that was beautiful. Well, we can't wait to see it August 29th on Showtime. Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor is going to be giving the work to homeboy Tommy Fury, and then you can also catch Jake Paul taking on Tyron Woodley. I'm Alex Wendling. That's Pretty Boy. We'll see you then.
Thank you.